The champagne flute shattered against marble as Sophia's ex-fiancé walked in with her former best friend on his arm, and suddenly, the most dangerous man in the city was offering her his hand. The sound of crystal exploding against stone cut through the orchestra's gentle melody. Sophia stared at the sparkling mess at her feet, her hands still extended from where she'd fumbled the glass. Of course. Of course Marcus would be here. Of course he'd bring her. "Miss, are you all right?" A server materialized with a cloth. "Fine." Sophia's voice came out steadier than she felt. "I'm so sorry." She stepped back from the wreckage, her silver heels crunching on glass fragments, and tried to disappear into the crowd. The grand ballroom of the Bellevue Hotel glittered with Manhattan's elite, women in designer gowns, men in custom tuxedos, all of them pretending their donations to the Children's Hospital Fund weren't just tax write-offs. 3 months. It had been 3 months since she'd found Marcus in their bed with Diana. 3 months of crying, healing, telling herself she was better off. She'd forced herself to come tonight, to prove she could face their social circle again. She hadn't prepared for this. Marcus looked good, damn him. His blonde hair was perfectly styled, his smile confident as he guided Diana through the crowd. Diana wore emerald green, a color she knew Sophia could never pull off with her auburn hair. They looked happy. Disgustingly, perfectly happy. Sophia's chest tightened. She needed air. Or another drink. Definitely another drink. She made her way to the bar, keeping her head high, praying no one had witnessed her champagne disaster. The bartender slid her a glass of red wine without asking. She'd already had 2 glasses. 3 months sober from tears, but apparently not from wine. Sophia. She turned to find Jennifer Hayes bearing down on her, sympathy oozing from every pore. The last thing she needed. "I had no idea Marcus would be here," Jennifer whispered, touching Sophia's arm. "Are you okay? Do you want to leave?" "I can. I'm fine." Sophia smiled, the same smile she'd been perfecting for 3 months. "Really? It's been months. I'm completely over it." Jennifer's eyes flickered with doubt. "Well, if you need anything." "I'm going to dance," Sophia announced suddenly. She set down her wine glass with forced calm. "I'm going to dance and have a wonderful time because I refuse to let Marcus ruin my night." There was just one problem. She'd come alone. Everyone here knew it. If she walked onto that dance floor by herself, she'd look as pathetic as she felt. Her eyes scanned the ballroom desperately. The orchestra had shifted to something slow and romantic, perfect. She just needed a partner. Any partner. That's when she saw him. He stood at the far end of the bar, somehow separate from the crowd despite being surrounded by it. Tall, dark-haired, wearing a black tuxedo that looked like it cost more than her monthly rent. His face was all sharp angles and shadows, with dark eyes that seemed to absorb the light around them. He was watching her. Not the way Marcus used to watch her, possessive and entitled. This man looked at her like he was reading a book written in a language only he understood. Sophia didn't recognize him. She knew most people in their circle, at least by sight, but this man was a stranger. A dangerous stranger, something whispered in her mind. She ignored it. She was done being safe. Safe had gotten her a cheating fiancé and a backstabbing best friend. Before she could second-guess herself, Sophia walked straight up to him. The crowd seemed to part around her, or maybe that was her imagination. Up close, he was even more striking, Mediterranean features, a jaw that could cut glass, and those eyes. God, those eyes were almost black. "Dance with me," she said. One dark eyebrow rose slightly. "Do I know you? Does it matter?" Sophia's heart hammered, but she held his gaze. "I need a dance partner. You look like you know how to dance. So, dance with me." A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth, barely there but devastating. "You don't even know my name. You don't know mine either." She extended her hand. "But I promise I don't bite." His smile widened, revealing white teeth. Something about that smile made her shiver. That makes one of us. But he took her hand anyway. His palm was warm, his grip firm as he led her onto the dance floor. Sophia felt the weight of stares following them, more than just Marcus watching. Everyone seemed to be watching. The mysterious stranger pulled her into position, one hand settling at her waist, the other holding her hand with surprising gentleness. "You're causing quite a scene," he murmured as they began to move. He danced like he'd been born doing it, confident and smooth. "Good," Sophia said, letting him guide her. She didn't dare look to see where Marcus was. "That's the point." "Ex-boyfriend?" "Ex-fiancé," she corrected. "With my ex-best friend. Across the room in emerald green, trying very hard not to stare at us." His hand tightened slightly on her waist, pulling her imperceptibly closer. "Then we should give them something to stare at." He spun her suddenly, expertly, making her silver dress flare out. When he pulled her back, they were closer than before. Sophia's breath caught. She could smell his cologne now, something dark and expensive, like cedar and smoke. "What's your name?" she asked, her voice softer than intended. "Dante." He studied her face with those unsettling eyes. "Dante Moretti." "And you?" "Sophia." "Sophia Castellano." Something flickered across his face, recognition, maybe? But it was gone before she could identify it. "Beautiful name," he said, his voice low. It did something to her, that voice. Made her pulse quicken. "Beautiful dress. Beautiful woman having a terrible night." "How do you know it's terrible?" "Because happy women don't ask strangers to dance with desperation in their eyes." He leaned closer, his breath warm against her ear. "And they definitely don't need to make ex-fiancés jealous." Sophia should have been offended. Instead, she found herself almost laughing. "You're very observant. It's a survival skill." Strange thing to say. But before she could question it, Dante spun her again, this time dipping her low. Sophia gasped, clutching his shoulders. When he pulled her up, their faces were inches apart. "Is he watching?" Dante asked quietly. Sophia finally glanced over. Marcus stood frozen near the champagne fountain, his face red, his jaw clenched. Diana clung to his arm, looking uncomfortable. "Yes," Sophia whispered. "Good." Dante's hand slid lower on her back, possessive. "Then let's make this count." They danced through 2 more songs. Dante never stumbled, never missed a step. He moved like violence wrapped in elegance, controlled and precise. He whispered things that made her blush, compliments about the curve of her neck, the way she fit against him, how her ex-fiancé was an idiot for letting her go. "You're quite the charmer," Sophia said, trying to regain her balance in more ways than one. "I'm many things." His smile turned darker. "Charming might not be the word most people use." "What would they say?" "That depends on whether they're friends or enemies." "And which do you have more of?" "Definitely enemies." He said it like a joke, but his eyes remained serious. "What about you, Sophia Castellano? Are you a friend or an enemy?" "I'm neither. I'm just a woman who needed a dance." "Just a dance?" He pulled her closer, close enough that she could feel the solid muscle beneath his tuxedo. "Then why do I get the feeling you need much more than that?" She should have pulled away. This man, Dante, he was too intense, too knowing. But after 3 months of feeling broken and weak, his attention felt like sunlight after winter. "Maybe I do," she admitted. The song ended. The orchestra paused between pieces. Dante stepped back, but kept hold of her hand. Around them, Sophia noticed something odd. People were keeping their distance. A circle of space surrounded them, as if no one wanted to get too close to Dante. "Thank you for the dance," she said, suddenly uncertain. "I should. Give me your number." It wasn't quite a question. Sophia's instinct screamed warnings. She'd just met this man. She knew nothing about him except that he danced like sin and smiled like danger. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? Because I don't know you. Because everyone here seems afraid of you. Because, she paused, meeting those dark eyes. Because something tells me you're not safe. Dante studied her for a long moment. Then he reached into his jacket and produced a phone. Put your number in anyway. Why would I do that? Because you asked me to dance to make someone jealous, and it worked. Because you felt powerful in my arms. Because you're tired of being safe, Sophia. I can see it in your eyes. He held out the phone. And because you're curious. He was right. God help her, he was right about all of it. Sophia took the phone. Her hands trembled slightly as she typed in her number. When she handed it back, Dante smiled, really smiled this time. It transformed his face, made him almost beautiful. I'll call you, he promised. Maybe I won't answer. You will. He lifted her hand to his lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles that sent electricity up her arm. Because you want to know what happens next. And so do I. Then he released her and walked away, disappearing into the crowd with the same mysterious grace he'd appeared with. Sophia stood alone on the dance floor, her heart racing, her mind spinning. Sophia. Marcus's voice made her turn. He stood a few feet away, Diana notably absent. His face was tight with something between anger and concern. Do you have any idea who that man was? Dante Moretti, she said, proud of how steady her voice sounded. Why? Marcus's face went pale. Jesus, Sophia. That's Dante Moretti. Do you know what that means? Should I? Marcus lowered his voice, glancing around nervously. He's connected. Dangerous. People say he runs half the cities. He trailed off meaningfully. The implications hit her slowly. Mafia. Marcus was talking about the Mafia. You need to stay away from him, Marcus insisted, reaching for her arm. Sophia stepped back. I don't need your advice anymore, Marcus. Remember? I'm serious. That man is my problem. Not yours. She smiled sweetly. Have a lovely evening with Diana. She walked away, her head high, leaving Marcus staring after her. But as Sophia collected her coat and made her way to the exit, her mind raced. Dante Moretti. Connected. Dangerous. She should delete his number. Block him. Forget this ever happened. Instead, she found herself wondering when he'd call. Her phone buzzed in her purse. She pulled it out. An unknown number. A single message, you looked stunning tonight. Sweet dreams, Sophia. She should have been scared. But as she climbed into her waiting Uber, all Sophia felt was alive, dangerously, thrillingly alive, for the first time in 3 months. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 2. The roses arrived on Monday. 24 blood-red roses in a crystal vase so extravagant that Sophia's secretary nearly dropped it carrying it into her office. The card was simple, dinner tonight? I promise not to bite. D. Sophia touched one velvet petal and tried to ignore the flutter in her stomach. She'd spent the entire weekend telling herself she wouldn't respond to his text. That she'd delete his number. That getting involved with a man like Dante Moretti was the definition of insanity. She texted back, where and when. He picked her up at 7 in a black town car with a driver who opened her door without making eye contact. Dante waited inside, devastating in a charcoal suit, his dark eyes traveling over her emerald dress with open appreciation. Green, he said, his voice warm. Reclaiming it from your friend? Ex-friend, Sophia corrected, sliding into the seat beside him. And yes. Good. His hand found hers, his thumb stroking her palm. You wear it better. Dinner was at Cipriani, where they were escorted to a private corner table without Dante saying a word. The maitre d' treated him with the kind of deference usually reserved for presidents or movie stars. Sophia noticed the way other diners glanced their way, some with curiosity, others with something that looked like fear. You come here often? She asked, accepting the wine menu. Often enough that they know what I like. Dante ordered for both of them in flawless Italian, his voice smooth and confident. I hope you trust me. I don't know you well enough to trust you. Then let's fix that. He leaned back, studying her. Ask me anything. Anything? Within reason. Sophia sipped her water, considering. What do you do for a living? I manage family businesses. Import, export, real estate, hospitality. His expression didn't change. We own several restaurants, a few hotels, some shipping interests. All technically true, Sophia suspected, and all carefully sanitized. And the men who followed us from my apartment? Dante's smile turned appreciative. You noticed. 2 men in a black SUV, staying exactly 3 cars behind us. Yes, I noticed. Security. I have enemies, Sophia. I'd rather be cautious. What kind of enemies require armed security? The dangerous kind. He reached across the table, his fingers brushing her wrist. But you're perfectly safe with me. I promise. The food arrived, perfectly prepared pasta, delicate seafood, flavors that exploded on her tongue. Dante told her about growing up in Brooklyn, about his mother's cooking, about summers in Sicily with his grandmother. He asked about her family's restaurant, her work as an event planner, her dreams beyond her failed engagement. He was charming. Attentive. Funny when she least expected it. And absolutely terrifying in ways she couldn't quite articulate. When he drove her home, he walked her to her door like a gentleman. But his kiss was anything but gentle, deep and claiming, his hand tangled in her hair, his body pressing hers against the door until she forgot every reason this was a bad idea. I'll see you tomorrow, he murmured against her lips. I didn't agree to tomorrow. You will. He kissed her again, softer this time. Sweet dreams, Sophia. Tomorrow became every day. Dante pursued her with an intensity that left her breathless. Lunch deliveries from the best restaurants in the city. Tickets to shows she'd mentioned wanting to see. A first edition of her favorite novel with a note, thought of you when I saw this. On Thursday, he took her to the opera. On Friday, a private cooking class with a Michelin-starred chef. On Saturday, a helicopter ride to a vineyard in the Hudson Valley where they tasted wine and watched the sunset from a terrace that seemed to touch the sky. This is too much, Sophia protested as they flew back to the city, the lights of Manhattan spreading below them like scattered diamonds. Dante, these dates, they must cost a fortune. I have a fortune, he said simply. Let me spend it on you. Why? He turned to face her, his expression serious. Because in a room full of people trying to impress me, you asked me to dance. Because you looked at me like I was a man, not a monster. Because when I'm with you, I remember what it feels like to want something beyond power and control. His honesty stole her breath. Sophia reached for his hand, threading their fingers together. I still don't really know you. You know the parts that matter. He lifted her hand to his lips. The rest is just details. But the details kept intruding. Like the phone calls Dante took in rapid Italian, his voice dropping to dangerous levels. Like the way his driver always scanned the street before letting them exit the car. Like the evening they went to dinner and the restaurant's owner refused to let Dante pay, his hands shaking as he insisted everything was taken care of. And then there were Marcus's messages. The first one came on Tuesday, you need to stop seeing him. Sophia deleted it. Wednesday, I'm serious, Sophia. Dante Moretti is dangerous. Thursday, you have no idea what you're getting into. Friday, this is going to end badly. Please listen to me. She blocked his number after that. Whatever Marcus thought he knew, she didn't want to hear it. He'd lost the right to protect her when he'd slept with Diana. But on Sunday afternoon, everything changed. Sophia was having coffee with her sister Rosa at their favorite cafe when Dante texted asking to meet her for dinner. She smiled at her phone, already typing a response. Is that him? Rosa asked, her prosecutor's eyes sharp. Who? The man you've been seeing. The one Marcus won't stop calling me about. Sophia set down her phone. Marcus has been calling you? 3 times this week. Rosa leaned forward, her face serious. Sophia, is it true you're dating Dante Moretti? The way Rosa said his name, like a curse word, made Sophia's stomach drop. How do you know that name? How do I? Rosa stared at her. Sophia, I'm a prosecutor. I know exactly who Dante Moretti is. He's the head of the Moretti crime family. They control half the organized crime in this city. We've been trying to build a case against him for 2 years. The cafe suddenly felt too warm. That's not possible. It's public record. Well, as public as these things get. Rosa pulled out her phone, typing quickly. His father Salvatore ran the family until he died 5 years ago. Dante took over and consolidated power. He's smart, careful, and absolutely ruthless. Sophia, you need to end this now. Rosa. I'm serious. These aren't good people. They're involved in everything: extortion, money laundering, illegal gambling, smuggling. We can't prove most of it because everyone's too terrified to testify. But Dante Moretti is dangerous. Sophia's hands shook around her coffee cup. She thought about Dante's smile, his gentle touches, the way he looked at her like she was precious. He's never been anything but kind to me. Of course he has. That's how men like him operate. Rosa's voice softened. I know you've been hurt. I know Marcus destroyed your trust. But this isn't the answer. This man could destroy more than your heart. You don't know him. And you do? How long have you been seeing him? 2 weeks. Rosa reached across the table, gripping Sophia's hand. Please. I'm begging you as your sister. End this before you get hurt. Or worse. Sophia pulled her hand away, her mind reeling. I need to think. Don't think too long. Men like Dante Moretti, they don't let go easily once they have something they want. That night, Sophia couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, Rosa's words echoing in her mind. Crime family. Ruthless. Dangerous. She pulled up her laptop and started searching. There wasn't much, a few society page photos, some business articles about Moretti Enterprises. But buried in the news archives, she found older articles. A suspicious fire at a competing restaurant. A witness who'd disappeared before testifying. Salvatore Moretti's funeral attended by half of New York's underworld. And through it all, photographs of Dante. Always in the background, always composed, his dark eyes giving nothing away. Her phone buzzed. Dante, can't sleep either. Thinking of you. Sophia stared at the message. She should end this. Block his number. Disappear before things got more complicated. Instead, she typed, we need to talk. Tomorrow. His response was immediate, my place. I'll send a car at 7. She shouldn't go. Every instinct screamed danger. But Sophia needed answers, and she suspected Dante would give them to her. He'd promised honesty, after all. Within reason, a small voice reminded her. Dante's penthouse occupied the entire top floor of a building in Tribeca. The car dropped her off in an underground garage where 2 men in expensive suits nodded to her with careful respect. A private elevator took her up, opening directly into a space that took her breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Modern furniture mixed with antiques that looked priceless. Art that probably was. Everything spoke of wealth and power and exquisite taste. Dante waited by the windows, wearing dark slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He turned when she entered, his smile warm but his eyes cautious. "You look upset," he said, crossing to her. "What's wrong?" "Who are you?" Sophia asked. "Really?" Something shifted in his expression. "You know who I am." "Do I?" "Because my sister, a prosecutor, tells me you're the head of a crime family. That you're dangerous. That I should run as far from you as possible." Her voice rose despite her attempt at control. "Is it true?" Dante was quiet for a long moment. Then he gestured to the sofa. "Sit. Please. Let me get you a drink." "I don't want a drink. I want the truth. And I'll give it to you." He poured himself a scotch, his movements controlled. "Yes, I'm the head of my family's organization. Yes, we operate outside the law in various capacities. Yes, I'm everything your sister warned you about." The confirmation hit her like a physical blow. Sophia sank onto the sofa, her legs suddenly weak. "Why didn't you tell me? Would you have gone to dinner with me if I'd introduced myself as a mob boss?" "No." "Exactly." He sat beside her, careful not to touch her. "I wanted a chance, Sophia. A chance for you to know me before you knew what I am." "Was that selfish?" "Absolutely. But I'm not apologizing for it. People are afraid of you." "Yes. You hurt people. When necessary." His voice remained steady. "I protect my family, my businesses, my interests. Sometimes that requires violence. I won't lie to you about that." Sophia's hands trembled. She clasped them together, trying to process. "I should leave." "You should," Dante agreed. "You should walk out that door and never look back. Find a nice accountant or lawyer. Someone safe who'll give you a predictable life. But I don't want you to." He finally touched her, his hand cupping her face with devastating gentleness. "I know it's wrong. I know I should let you go. But I haven't wanted anything this badly in years, Sophia. And I'm a selfish man." She should pull away. Instead, she leaned into his touch. "This is insane. Completely." His thumb brushed her cheekbone. "But there's something you should know." "Something about Marcus." Sophia stiffened. "What about him?" Dante's expression hardened. "He has gambling debts with my organization. Significant ones. That's why he's been warning you away. He's terrified of what I might tell you." "Gambling debts?" "Nearly $200,000. He's been playing high-stakes poker at one of our establishments for the past year. Losing badly." Dante's voice turned cold. "That's not all. We've been tracking his payments, and some of the money came from unusual sources. Do you know anything about your family's restaurant accounts?" Sophia's blood went cold. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying Marcus had access to those accounts when you were engaged. And I'm saying significant amounts went missing around the same time his debts were mounting." "No." She stood abruptly, her mind reeling. "That's not possible. The restaurant, my parents would have noticed. Not if he was clever about it. Small amounts over time, hidden in vendor payments and inventory costs." Dante rose, pulling out his phone. "My people are very good at following money, Sophia. I can show you the documentation if you want to see it." She didn't want to believe it. But it made horrible sense. Marcus's insistence on handling the restaurant's books. His access to her family's accounts. The way he'd ended their engagement so suddenly, maybe he'd been afraid she'd discover what he'd done. "He stole from my family," she whispered. "And then he left me. He destroyed evidence, cut his losses, and moved on to Diana, whose family has no money for him to steal." Dante's voice gentled. I'm sorry. I know this hurts. Sophia's grief and rage tangled together. Her parents had built that restaurant from nothing. They'd trusted Marcus because Sophia loved him. And he'd robbed them blind. Can you prove it? She asked, her voice steady despite the fury building inside her. Yes. Could he go to jail? If we present the evidence correctly, absolutely. Dante moved closer. But there's a problem. If we expose him, it exposes my organization's involvement in the gambling operation. I can't allow that. Then how? I have another option. His eyes locked with hers, dark and intense. I can help you get the money back. All of it. And I can make sure Marcus pays for what he did, not through the courts, but through other means. Permanent means that ensure he never hurts another person the way he hurt you. Sophia's heart hammered. You're offering to help me get revenge. I'm offering to help you get justice. There's a difference. At what price? Dante's smile was sharp. You stay with me. You accept what I am, what my world is. You stop fighting this thing between us and let me make you mine. He stepped closer, his presence overwhelming. I get you, Sophia. And you get your revenge and your family's money back. Everyone wins. Except Marcus. Except Marcus, Dante agreed. It was a devil's bargain. Sophia knew it. Accepting Dante's help meant accepting his world, the violence, the danger, the darkness that Rosa had warned her about. It meant walking away from any chance at a normal life. But Marcus had stolen from her family. He'd betrayed her in the worst possible way. And the justice system that Rosa believed in couldn't touch him without exposing Dante's organization. This was the only way to make things right. Sophia looked up at Dante, this dangerous man who'd somehow become entangled in her life. If I agree to this, if I stay with you and let you help me, I need one promise. Name it. No lies between us. Ever. I need to know what I'm getting into. I need to see the truth, even when it's ugly. Dante studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. No lies. You'll see everything, even the parts I'd rather keep hidden. Even the parts that might make you leave. Then I'm in. The words felt like jumping off a cliff. Help me make Marcus pay. And she paused, the weight of what she was agreeing to settling over her. I'll be yours. His kiss was claiming and fierce, his hands pulling her against him like he'd been waiting forever for permission to really touch her. Sophia kissed him back with equal intensity, letting the last of her resistance crumble. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante rested his forehead against hers. You have no idea what you've just agreed to. Then show me, Sophia whispered. Show me your world, Dante. All of it. His smile was dark and promising. Be careful what you wish for, amore. Once you step into my world, there's no going back. I don't want to go back. She pulled him close again. I want justice. And apparently, I want you. Then you'll have both. His hands tightened on her waist. Starting tomorrow, we make Marcus pay. And Sophia? Yes? Welcome to the family. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 3. The Moretti family compound sat in the Bronx, hidden behind high walls and careful landscaping that made it look like any other expensive estate. Sophia's hands twisted in her lap as Dante's driver pulled through the gates, past security that nodded them through with military precision. Nervous? Dante asked, his hand covering hers. Should I be? They're going to love you. He didn't sound entirely convinced. Sunday dinner with the family. Sophia had imagined something from a movie, dark rooms, cigar smoke, men in fedoras discussing murder over pasta. Instead, she walked into a warm kitchen filled with the scent of tomato sauce and fresh bread, where Dante's mother Cecilia presided like a general commanding troops. Dante. Cecilia pulled her son into a fierce hug, then turned sharp eyes on Sophia. And this is her? Mama, this is Sophia Castellano. Dante's hand settled protectively at Sophia's waist. Sophia, my mother. Cecilia studied her with unnerving intensity. Then she smiled, pulling Sophia into an unexpected embrace. Castellano? Your family has the restaurant on Mulberry Street? Yes, my parents. I know your father. Good man. Makes the best osso buco in Little Italy. Cecilia patted Sophia's cheek. Come, help me with the salad. Dante, go find your uncle. He wants to talk to you. Before Sophia could protest, she was swept into the kitchen's controlled chaos. Dante's sister Maria appeared with her 2 children. His aunt Gianna argued with his cousin about proper pasta water temperature. It was loud and warm and overwhelmingly normal. Except for the armed men positioned discreetly throughout the house. And the way conversations stopped when certain topics arose. And the undercurrent of power that ran beneath every interaction like an electrical current. Dinner was served in a dining room that could seat 20. Sophia found herself between Dante and his uncle Roberto, facing a man Dante introduced as Luca Russo, his second in command. Luca was handsome in a cold way, with silver threading through his dark hair and eyes that missed nothing. He'd been polite when they were introduced, but Sophia felt his assessment like a physical thing. So, Sophia, Luca said as platters of food circulated. Dante tells us you're an event planner. Yes. Corporate events, weddings, charity galas. Useful skills. His smile didn't reach his eyes. And you've known Dante how long? 2 weeks. Luca, Dante's voice held a warning. I'm just making conversation. Luca sipped his wine. It's unusual, that's all. You don't typically bring women to family dinner, Dante. This must be serious. It is, Dante said flatly. The table went quiet. Sophia felt everyone's attention shift to her. This was a test, she realized. They were all watching to see how she'd handle the pressure. I care about your nephew, Sophia said, meeting Luca's gaze. And he cares about me. That's all you need to know. Luca's eyebrows rose. Then he laughed, the sound surprising everyone. She's got spine. I'll give you that, Dante. The tension broke. Conversation resumed. But Sophia caught the looks Luca kept shooting her way, calculating, suspicious, waiting for her to prove herself a liability. After dinner, Dante took her to his study in the compound's west wing. The room was all leather and dark wood, shelves lined with books in Italian and English. He poured them both wine and pulled her onto the sofa beside him. You handled that well, he said, kissing her temple. Luca's protective. He's been with my family since we were kids. He worries. He thinks I'm a threat. He thinks everyone's a threat until proven otherwise. It's why he's still alive. Dante's hand stroked through her hair. Give him time. He'll come around. And if he doesn't? Then he'll learn to live with it. Because you're not going anywhere. Sophia wanted to believe him. But she'd felt the weight of Luca's distrust, and something told her it wouldn't fade easily. The next week, Dante began showing her his world in earnest. She sat in on a meeting at one of his restaurants where a manager explained supply chain issues in terms that meant something else entirely. She watched Dante settle a dispute between 2 of his captains with words that sounded reasonable but carried the weight of absolute authority. She learned that taking care of a problem had multiple meanings, not all of them legal. It was like learning a new language. Dante never explicitly told her about the illegal activities, but she could read between the lines. The gambling operations. The protection money. The goods that moved through his shipping companies without proper documentation. You're very good at this, she observed one evening as they left a meeting. The deniability. Everything sounds legitimate. That's the point. Dante guided her into the car. The law can't touch what they can't prove. And I'm very careful about what can be proven. My sister would hate this. Your sister's job is to hate this. He pulled her close. Does it bother you? Sophia considered. A month ago, the answer would have been yes. But now, watching Dante navigate his world with intelligence and strategy, she found herself less troubled than she should be. I don't know. You protect people. Your family, your employees. You provide services that people want. Is that really so different from what legitimate businesses do? Some would say yes. Some would say I'm a criminal who deserves prison. And what do you say? Dante's smile was sharp. I say I play by different rules. But I play them better than anyone else. That confidence, that absolute certainty in his own power, it should have scared her. Instead, it made her feel safe in a way she'd never experienced. Which was its own kind of danger. The call came at 2 in the morning. Sophia jerked awake to her phone buzzing insistently. Dante's name flashed on the screen. They'd said goodnight hours ago after dinner at his place. Why was he calling now? Hello? Don't panic. Dante's voice was calm, but she heard tension underneath. I need you to stay very quiet and don't turn on any lights. Do you have something you can use as a weapon? A knife, scissors, anything? Sophia's heart hammered. What's happening? Just do what I say. Now. She slipped out of bed, grabbing scissors from her desk drawer. I have scissors. Good. Go into your bathroom and lock the door. My men are 3 minutes away. Dante. Someone broke into your building. They're on your floor. Get in the bathroom now. Terror flooded through her. Sophia ran to the bathroom, locking the door with shaking hands. She could hear it now, footsteps in her apartment. Someone was in her living room. I'm in, she whispered. Stay quiet. Help is coming. The footsteps moved closer. Then she heard her bedroom door open. Sophia pressed herself into the corner, scissors gripped in her fist, her phone clutched to her ear. Sophia? A familiar voice called out. I know you're here. We need to talk. Marcus. Her fear transformed into fury. You broke into my apartment? I need you to listen, Marcus's voice cut off in a grunt of pain. Then shouting, sounds of a struggle, something crashing. Dante? Sophia's voice shook. It's okay. My men have him. You can come out now. Sophia unlocked the door on trembling legs. She walked through her bedroom to find her living room full of people. 3 of Dante's men, including the driver who'd taken her to dinner that first night, had Marcus pinned against the wall. Marcus's nose was bleeding, his shirt torn. And Dante stood in the center of it all, still in his dinner clothes, rage radiating from every line of his body. Sophia. His voice gentled when he saw her. Are you hurt? No. She couldn't finish the sentence. Shock was setting in. Dante crossed to her, pulling her against him. She buried her face in his chest, breathing in his familiar scent, letting his solid presence anchor her. What do you want us to do with him, boss? One of the men asked. Dante's hand stroked Sophia's hair, soothing, even as his voice turned to ice. Take him to the warehouse. I'll deal with him later. No, wait, Marcus struggled, but the men hauled him toward the door. Sophia, please. I just wanted to talk. I needed to explain. You broke into her home, Dante said softly. You scared her. That was a mistake, Marcus. The threat in his voice made Marcus go pale. I have the money. Most of it. I can pay. Too late for that. Dante nodded to his men. They dragged Marcus out, his protests fading down the hallway. Sophia pulled back, looking up at Dante. What are you going to do to him? What needs to be done? His jaw was tight. He broke in here, Sophia. If my men hadn't arrived when they did, if you'd surprised him, if things had gone differently, his arms tightened around her. I won't let anyone hurt you. He said he just wanted to talk. Men who just want to talk don't break in at 2 in the morning. They don't jimmy locks and creep through dark apartments. Dante cupped her face. You know what he came here for. He was going to hurt you, to scare you, to force you to convince me to forgive his debts. Don't make excuses for him. Sophia knew he was right. The terror she'd felt, hiding in her bathroom, proved it. Marcus wasn't the man she'd thought she loved. Maybe he never had been. I want to see it, she said suddenly. Dante frowned. See what? What you're going to do to him. You promised no lies, no hiding. I need to see your world, Dante. All of it. Even this part. Sophia. I mean it. If I'm really in this, if I'm really choosing you, then I need to understand. Completely. Dante studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Get dressed. Warm clothes. This isn't going to be pleasant. The warehouse sat near the docks, anonymous among dozens of similar buildings. Dante's driver pulled into a bay where 2 more cars already waited. Inside, the space was mostly empty except for a circle of light in the center where Marcus sat tied to a chair. Sophia's stomach churned, but she forced herself to walk beside Dante. His men parted to let them through. Marcus looked up, his face swollen from the earlier fight, and his eyes widened when he saw her. Sophia, thank God. Tell him. Be quiet, Dante said. Marcus shut his mouth. Luca emerged from the shadows, nodding to Dante. Everything's ready, boss. Just say the word. Not yet. Dante turned to Sophia. Last chance to wait in the car. She shook her head, even though every instinct screamed at her to run. I need to see. Dante gestured to Luca, who pulled out a folder. Marcus Chen. Age 34. Former investment banker, currently unemployed. You owe my organization $197,000 in gambling debts. You also embezzled approximately $240,000 from the Castellano family restaurant over the past 18 months. Do you deny any of this? Marcus's face crumpled. I have a problem. An addiction. I was going to pay it all back. With what money? Luca's voice was flat. You're broke. Your credit cards are maxed. You're living off your new girlfriend's family money. You have nothing. The apartment, I can sell the apartment. Already mortgaged twice over. Luca closed the folder. You're finished, Marcus. The only question is how we finish you. Sophia watched Marcus fall apart, saw the pathetic reality of the man she'd almost married. He wasn't evil. He was weak. Weak and selfish and cowardly. Please, Marcus begged, looking at Sophia. I loved you. I made mistakes, but I loved you. Don't let them do this. You stole from my family, Sophia said, her voice steady. You destroyed my parents' savings. You left me to cover up your crimes. That's not love, Marcus. That's not anything. Sophia. But I'm not a murderer. She looked at Dante. I want my family's money back. I want him to pay for what he did. But I don't want his death on my conscience. Dante's expression was unreadable. Then he nodded. Luca, take him to the basement. He's going to sign over everything he owns, the apartment, the car, his accounts, all of it. Then he's going to write a confession about the embezzlement. And then he's going to leave New York and never come back. Boss, Luca started. That's my decision. Dante's voice brooked no argument. He gets to live. But if he ever sets foot in this city again, if he ever contacts Sophia or her family, if I even hear his name in a report, then we revisit this conversation. Understood? Marcus nodded frantically, Yes. Yes. Thank you. I'll leave, Take him, Dante ordered. Luca's men hauled Marcus away. Luca himself lingered, his expression disapproving. You're going soft, boss. Because of her. Careful, Luca. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. First you bring her into family business. Now you're letting debt slide, showing mercy to people who crossed you. She's making you weak. Dante moved so fast Sophia barely saw it. One moment he was beside her, the next he had Luca against the wall, his forearm across the other man's throat. You think I'm weak? Dante's voice was deadly quiet. You think mercy is weakness? I'm letting him live because Sophia asked me to. Because her judgment matters to me. But don't mistake that for softness. He pressed harder. I'm still the man who built this organization. I'm still the man you swore loyalty to. Question me again, and you'll regret it. He released Luca, who straightened his jacket, his face carefully neutral. My apologies, boss. It won't happen again. See that it doesn't. Dante took Sophia's hand. We're done here. They walked back to the car in silence. Sophia's mind spun with what she'd witnessed, the brutality, the control, the casual way Dante had threatened his oldest friend. This was his world. This was what she'd signed up for. Are you okay? Dante asked once they were driving. I don't know. Sophia stared out the window at the city passing by. You would have killed him. If I hadn't stopped you. Yes. And that's just normal for you. Just business. Yes. He pulled her close despite the driver's presence. I told you what I was, Sophia. I told you my world was dark. This is what I meant. I know. She pressed against him, seeking warmth. It should horrify me. Maybe it does. But Marcus broke into my apartment, Dante. He was going to hurt me. And you stopped him. You protected me. How am I supposed to feel about that? However you feel. I won't apologize for protecting you. I'll never apologize for that. Sophia closed her eyes. She should feel guilty. She should be disgusted with herself for accepting this world, for letting Dante handle Marcus with violence instead of law. But all she felt was safe. God help her, she felt safe. Her phone rang at noon the next day. Rosa's name flashed on the screen. Sophia almost didn't answer. But avoiding her sister would only make things worse. Hello? We need to talk. Now. There's a cafe on 34th Street called Moretti's. Meet me there in 30 minutes. Rosa, I'm 30 minutes, Sophia. This isn't a request. The line went dead. Moretti's was crowded with the lunch rush. Sophia found Rosa at a back table, 2 coffees already waiting. Her sister looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, her usually perfect hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. You look terrible, Sophia said, sliding into the booth. I've been working 20-hour days. Rosa pushed a coffee across the table. Because my case against the Moretti organization just fell apart, thanks to you. Sophia's stomach dropped. What? 2 years, Sophia. 2 years of building a case. We had witnesses ready to testify, financial records we could trace, patterns we could prove. And then you started dating Dante Moretti. Rosa's voice shook with exhaustion and anger. Do you have any idea what that did to my investigation? I don't understand. Our key witness got cold feet because he thinks you're an informant feeding Dante information. Half my team thinks you're compromised. My boss is threatening to pull me from the case because of conflict of interest. Rosa leaned forward. You destroyed my case, Sophia. Everything I've worked for. Guilt flooded through her. I didn't know. I didn't mean. I warned you. I told you who he was, what he did. And you chose him anyway. Rosa's eyes were hard. So now I'm asking. Are you feeding him information? Has he been using you to spy on my investigation? No. Rosa, I would never. Then help me fix this. Rosa pulled out a small device, sliding it across the table. Wear this. It's a wire. Record your conversations with Dante, attend his meetings, get me evidence I can use. Help me take him down. Sophia stared at the device like it was a snake. You want me to inform on him? I want you to do the right thing. He's a criminal, Sophia. He hurts people. He breaks the law every single day. And you're protecting him. He protected me. The words burst out louder than intended. Sophia lowered her voice. Marcus broke into my apartment last night. Dante's men stopped him. If they hadn't been there, then you call the police. You don't let your mob boss boyfriend handle it with violence. Rosa grabbed Sophia's hand. Listen to yourself. You're making excuses for him. You're accepting his world. This isn't you, Sophia. This isn't who you are. Maybe you don't know who I am anymore. Sophia pulled her hand away. Maybe I'm tired of doing things the right way and getting hurt. Maybe I like feeling protected for once instead of vulnerable. At what cost? Your soul. Your integrity. Your family. Rosa's voice broke. I'm your sister. Mom and Dad are your parents. We're your family, not him. And if you choose him over us, if you keep seeing him knowing what he is, then you're choosing his side. Which means you're choosing against me. The ultimatum hung between them like a blade. Sophia felt tears burning her eyes. Don't make me choose. You already chose when you didn't walk away. Rosa stood, leaving the wire on the table. If you change your mind, if you want to help me stop him before more people get hurt, you know how to reach me. But Sophia? If you don't, if you stay with him, then don't expect me to be there to pick up the pieces when this all falls apart. Because it will fall apart. Men like Dante Moretti, they destroy everything they touch eventually. She walked away, leaving Sophia alone with cold coffee and an impossible choice. Her phone buzzed. Dante, dinner tonight? I want to show you something special. Sophia looked at the wire Rosa had left behind. Then at Dante's message. Her sister wanted her to betray the man she was falling for. Dante wanted her to dive deeper into his world. Her family needed her loyalty. Her heart pulled her toward danger. And somewhere in the middle, Sophia had to figure out who she really was and what she was willing to sacrifice. She picked up the wire, held it for a long moment, then dropped it in her purse. Not because she decided to use it, but because she hadn't decided not to. She texted Dante back, "What time?" His response was immediate, 7. "We're something beautiful. Tonight, I'm introducing you to the rest of my world." Sophia finished her coffee, tasting ashes, and wondered which choice would destroy her first, betraying Dante or betraying her family. Either way, she was starting to realize, she was going to lose something precious. The only question was what she was willing to pay to keep the rest. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 4. The wire felt like it was burning a hole through Sophia's purse. She sat across from Rosa in a different cafe 3 days later, hands wrapped around a coffee she couldn't drink. Between them lay a folder of documents, financial records from one of Dante's legitimate businesses, meeting schedules, names of associates. Nothing illegal. Nothing that would actually help Rosa's case. This is it? Rosa flipped through the pages, her disappointment obvious. Supply orders and employee schedules? It's what I could access without raising suspicion. Sophia kept her voice low. I'm not in his inner circle, Rosa. I don't attend strategy meetings or see the real books. It was partially true. Dante had been careful about what he showed her, keeping her at arm's length from anything truly incriminating. But Sophia had also been careful about what she looked for. She was walking a razor's edge, trying to satisfy her sister without betraying the man she was falling for. Rosa closed the folder with a sigh. This is useless. I need real evidence, Sophia. Recordings, financial documents, something that proves criminal activity. I'm trying. Are you? Rosa's eyes were sharp. Or are you protecting him? I'm protecting myself. Sophia met her sister's gaze. If Dante finds out I'm informing, I'm dead. You know that, right? This isn't some white-collar criminal who'll file a lawsuit. This is a man who makes people disappear. Then wear the wire. Get him on tape talking about his business. One good recording could get me killed when his men sweep for bugs. Which they do, Rosa. Regularly. Sophia had learned that from Luca, who'd mentioned the security protocols with pointed significance. I'm giving you what I can. It has to be enough. Rosa looked like she wanted to argue, but something in Sophia's expression stopped her. How deep are you in with him? Sophia thought about Dante's hands in her hair, his whispered promises in the dark, the way he looked at her like she was both precious and dangerous. Too deep to walk away now. That's what I was afraid of. Rosa gathered her things. Be careful, Sophia. Men like him, they don't love. They possess. And when they're done possessing you, they destroy what's left. After Rosa left, Sophia sat alone, staring at her reflection in the window. She barely recognized the woman looking back. When had she become someone who lied to her sister? Who protected criminals? Who fell asleep in the arms of a man who ordered violence as casually as ordering dinner? Her phone buzzed. Dante, come to the penthouse. I have something for you. She should have felt guilty. Instead, her pulse quickened with anticipation. God, what was she becoming? Dante's penthouse was flooded with afternoon light when she arrived. He waited by the windows, devastating in a black suit, holding a leather portfolio. You look beautiful, he said, crossing to kiss her. His hands settled at her waist, possessive. How was lunch with your friend? Sophia's stomach clenched. Fine. Just catching up. Did he know? His dark eyes searched her face, and for a terrifying moment, she thought he'd seen through her lie. But then he smiled and guided her to the sofa. I have something for you. He opened the portfolio, spreading documents across the coffee table. Everything you need to destroy Marcus. Sophia leaned forward, scanning the papers. Bank statements showing transfers from her family's restaurant accounts to Marcus's personal accounts. Forged invoices. A paper trail so clear even someone without financial training could follow it. This is, she couldn't finish. Proof. Dante's voice was satisfied. Enough to send him to prison for embezzlement, fraud, theft. Your family's lawyer could file charges tomorrow. But you won't let me give this to the authorities. It wasn't a question. No. Dante's expression hardened. Marcus made a deal with me. He signed over his assets, confessed to his crimes, and agreed to leave New York. In exchange, I let him live. So he just gets away with it? Anger flared in Sophia's chest. He stole from my family, Dante. He deserves to pay. And he will. Something dark flickered in Dante's eyes. Just not through the courts. What does that mean? Dante was quiet for a moment, clearly weighing his words. Marcus didn't work alone. He was stealing on behalf of someone else, someone who needed to fund certain activities without leaving a trail. Someone I've been trying to expose for 2 years. Who? City Councilman James Hartwell. The name dropped like a stone. He's been taking money from my competitors, the Vitali family, to push legislation that hurts my businesses and protects theirs. He's also been skimming from charity funds, pension plans, anywhere he can access. Marcus was his accountant, moving money, hiding transactions. Sophia's mind raced. So you're using Marcus to get to Hartwell? I'm using Marcus's records to build a case that even Hartwell's political connections can't protect him from. Dante's hand covered hers. Your family will get their money back. Marcus will face justice, my kind of justice. And Hartwell will be destroyed. Everyone wins. Except I can't tell my parents what really happened. I can't give them closure. Would you rather give them a trial that might fail? Lawyers who'll bleed them dry? Media attention that'll destroy their restaurant's reputation? Dante pulled her closer. This way, they get their money quietly, the restaurant survives, and the man responsible pays. Trust me, Sophia. This is better. She wanted to believe him. But doubt gnawed at her. When did you know? About Marcus and Hartwell? A few months before I met you. His answer came too quickly. Why? Just wondering. But her instincts prickled. Something wasn't right. Dante's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, his expression shifting to something dangerous. I need to take this. Stay here. He walked into his study, closing the door. Sophia sat alone with the documents, her mind spinning. A few months before the gala. Which meant Dante had known about Marcus's crimes before he'd asked her to dance. Was that a coincidence? Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it, but something made her answer. Sophia Castellano. The voice was male, unfamiliar. You're going to walk out of Dante Moretti's building and get into the black van waiting on the corner. If you don't, your sister Rosa will have an unfortunate accident on her way home from work today. Sophia's blood turned to ice. Who is this? You have 5 minutes. Come alone. Don't tell Dante. If his men follow you, Rosa dies. The line went dead. Sophia's hands shook. This couldn't be real. It had to be a bluff. But could she risk Rosa's life on that assumption? She looked at Dante's study door. She could hear his voice, sharp and commanding, speaking rapid Italian. She should tell him. He'd protect her. Unless this was about him. Unless telling him was exactly what would get Rosa killed. Sophia grabbed her purse and walked to the elevator before she could second-guess herself. The ride down felt like falling. Her mind screamed at her to go back, to trust Dante, but the threat against Rosa paralyzed her with fear. The black van waited exactly where they'd said. The door slid open. 2 men in masks gestured for her to get in. This is insane, her mind screamed. But she thought of Rosa's exhausted face, her sister's determination to do the right thing, and climbed inside. The door slammed shut. Something struck the back of her head. Then darkness. Sophia woke to the smell of mildew and the throb of pain behind her eyes. She was in a basement, concrete walls, a single bare bulb, water stains on the floor. Her hands were zip-tied to a metal chair. Terror flooded through her, sharp and immediate. She pulled against the restraints, but they held firm. Finally awake. A man emerged from the shadows. Late 50s, expensive suit, cold eyes. I apologize for the accommodations. This wasn't my first choice of meeting place. Who are you? Sophia's voice came out steadier than she felt. Antonio Vitali. He said it like she should recognize the name. I run the family that Dante Moretti has been trying to destroy for the past 5 years. Your leverage, Miss Castellano. Nothing personal. If you hurt me, Dante will kill you. Probably. Antonio pulled up a chair, sitting backward on it. But that's a problem for later. Right now, I want to talk about how you ended up in Dante's bed. That's none of your business. Oh, but it is. You see, I've been watching Dante for years. I know how he operates. And when I heard he was dating you, Sofia Castellano, ex-fiancée of Marcus Chen, I got curious. Antonio's smile was sharp. Did Dante ever tell you when he first learned about Marcus's embezzlement? Sophia's chest tightened. A few months before we met. Try 18 months. Antonio pulled out a tablet, tapping the screen. My people are very good at intelligence. Let me show you something. He turned the screen toward her. It showed an email dated a year and a half ago, from one of Dante's financial people to Dante himself. Subject line, Marcus Chen, Castellano Restaurant Connection. The email detailed Marcus's gambling debts, his relationship with Sophia, his theft from her family's business. And at the bottom, Dante had replied, interesting. Keep monitoring. There might be an opportunity here. No. Sophia shook her head. That doesn't mean. There's more. Antonio swiped to another document. A surveillance photo of Sophia at a coffee shop, dated 3 months before the gala. Then another of her at work. Another at her apartment building. Dozens of photos spanning weeks. He was watching you, Sophia. Learning your routines, your habits, your vulnerabilities. And then, Antonio showed her another image. Dante at the gala, arriving just 20 minutes after Marcus. He made sure to be at that gala. Made sure to be at the bar when you came looking for help. He orchestrated everything. Sophia felt sick. Why? Why would he do that? Because Marcus worked for Councilman Hartwell, and Dante needed a way to get close to Marcus without raising suspicion. You were perfect, Marcus's ex-fiancée, vulnerable, angry, desperate for revenge. Antonio's voice turned almost sympathetic. Dante didn't fall for you at that gala, Miss Castellano. He planned you. Every date, every kiss, every moment, it was strategy. You're lying. But the evidence stared at her from the screen. Am I? Think about it. A man like Dante Moretti doesn't just fall in love with random women at parties. He's been planning this for 18 months, waiting for the right moment to approach you, to use you as bait to draw out Marcus, to get the evidence he needed against Hartwell. Antonio stood. You weren't his girlfriend. You were his operation. Sophia's mind raced, fitting pieces together. The way Dante had been at exactly the right place at the right time. How he'd known so much about Marcus so quickly. The perfect way he'd played into her need for revenge while positioning himself to access Marcus's records. God. Had any of it been real? Why are you telling me this? She whispered. Because Dante will come for you. He's probably mobilizing his entire organization right now. Antonio headed toward the stairs. And when he does, I want you to wonder, is he rescuing his girlfriend? Or is he protecting his asset? Is his love real? Or is it just another manipulation to keep you useful? He disappeared up the stairs, leaving Sophia alone with the photos and the terrible, growing certainty that she'd been played from the very beginning. The rescue came 4 hours later. Gunfire erupted upstairs. Sharp cracks that made Sophia flinch. Shouting in Italian. Running footsteps. Then silence. The door burst open. Dante stood there, gun in hand, his face a mask of cold fury. Behind him, Luca and 3 other men fanned out, checking corners. Sophia. Dante holstered his gun and crossed to her, pulling a knife to cut her zip ties. Are you hurt? No. She pulled away from him as soon as her hands were free. Don't touch me. His eyes narrowed. What did they do to you? They showed me the truth. Sophia stood on shaking legs. How long, Dante? How long have you been planning this? Understanding flickered across his face. Sophia. 18 months. You've been watching me for 18 months. You knew about Marcus, about the embezzlement, about everything. And you used it. You used me. Her voice broke. Was any of it real? Not here. Dante reached for her arm, but she jerked away. We need to get you somewhere safe. Then we'll talk. Safe? I'm not safe anywhere near you. Sophia backed toward the stairs. You're just like him. Just like Marcus. Using people, manipulating them. I'm nothing like Marcus. Dante's voice turned dangerous. And you know it. Do I? Because right now, all I know is that you're a liar. Everything, the gala, the dancing, the dates, it was all a setup. I was just a tool to get to Marcus and Hartwell. That's not. Dante stopped, his jaw clenched. We don't have time for this. The Vitalis are still in the building. We need to move. Boss, Luca called from upstairs. We've got company. 3 cars approaching. Dante cursed in Italian. Let's go. Now. He didn't wait for her agreement, just grabbed her hand and pulled her up the stairs. Sophia stumbled after him, too shocked and angry to fight. They emerged into what looked like an abandoned factory. Bodies lay scattered, Vitali's men, she realized with horror. Dante's crew had cut through them like paper. More gunfire erupted outside. Dante pushed her behind a concrete pillar, his body shielding hers. Stay down. Dante. Later. Right now, I need you alive. His dark eyes met hers, and for a moment, she saw something raw and desperate in them. Please, Sophia. Trust me for 5 more minutes. Then you can hate me all you want. The gunfight seemed to last forever but probably lasted less than a minute. Then Dante was pulling her toward a back exit where his car waited, engine running. He pushed her into the back seat, climbed in after her, and the driver peeled out before the door fully closed. Sophia pressed against the opposite side of the car, as far from Dante as possible. Her mind spun with images, the surveillance photos, the calculated timing, Antonio's cold smile as he destroyed her illusions. Take us to the compound, Dante ordered the driver. Then he turned to Sophia. Now we talk. I don't want to talk to you. Too bad. Because you're going to listen. His voice turned hard. Yes, I knew about Marcus 18 months ago. Yes, I had you watched. Yes, I positioned myself at that gala knowing you'd be vulnerable and angry and looking for revenge. All of that is true. Each word was a knife in her chest. So it was all fake. Everything. No. Dante moved closer, and when she tried to pull away, he caught her face in his hands, forcing her to look at him. The plan was fake. The strategy was fake. But this, his thumb brushed her cheekbone. This is real, Sophia. These feelings, this need I have for you, that was never part of the plan. How am I supposed to believe that? Because I'm telling you the truth for the first time. His voice dropped to something raw. I approached you to get to Marcus. That's true. I used your anger and your pain as tools. That's true. But I never planned to fall for you. I never planned to care about your smile or the way you challenge me or how you make me want to be better than what I am. Tears burned in Sophia's eyes. You're a liar. That's what you do, you lie and manipulate Anne. I don't lie to you. Not anymore. Dante's hands tightened on her face. I could have kept this secret forever. The Vitalis showing you that evidence, I could have denied it, made up a story, convinced you they were trying to turn you against me. But I'm not doing that. I'm admitting everything because you deserve the truth, even if it means losing you. You never had me. You had a mark. An asset. You're right. His admission shocked her. That's what you were supposed to be. But somewhere between that first dance and now, you became everything. And I don't know how to make you believe that except to tell you, if this was still just strategy, if you were still just an asset, I would have left you in that basement. Assets are expendable. But you, his voice cracked. Losing you would destroy me, Sophia. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to so badly. But trust, once shattered, wasn't so easily rebuilt. How do I know this isn't just another manipulation? How do I know you're not saying exactly what you think will keep me compliant? Dante released her, sitting back. You don't. That's the problem with people like me, we're too good at playing roles. You have to decide, Sophia. Either you believe that somewhere in the past few weeks, the lies became truth and the manipulation became real love. Or you decide I'm irredeemable and you walk away. And if I walk away? Pain flashed across his face. Then I let you go. No interference, no threats. You'll have the evidence against Marcus, your family will get their money back, and you'll never see me again. He paused. But the Vitalis know about you now. They'll always see you as my weakness. Walking away doesn't make you safe. So my choices are stay with you or spend my life looking over my shoulder? Your choices are stay with me because you believe I love you, or walk away because you don't. The danger. That's my fault, and I'll deal with it either way. But don't stay because you're afraid. Stay because you feel what I feel. The car pulled through the gates of the compound. Sophia stared out at the familiar walls, the guards, the family home where she'd eaten dinner and laughed with Dante's mother. It all felt like a different life now, one where she'd been naive enough to believe a man like Dante Moretti could fall in love at first sight. I need time, she said finally. I need to think. How much time? I don't know. She turned to face him. You lied to me, Dante. You used me. Even if your feelings are real now, they were built on a foundation of manipulation. How do I trust anything between us? You can't. His honesty was brutal. Trust is earned, and I haven't earned it. I've done everything to lose it. But Sophia, he reached for her hand, and this time she let him take it. I'm asking you to give me the chance to earn it. To prove that what started as strategy became something more. To show you that the man who manipulated you is terrified of losing you. Sophia looked at their joined hands. 3 weeks ago, she'd been heartbroken and humiliated. Then Dante had swept into her life like a storm, offering danger and passion and revenge. She'd thought she was choosing him. She'd never realized she'd been chosen first. I want the truth from now on, she said quietly. About everything. Your business, your plans, what you're doing with Marcus and Hartwell, all of it. No more secrets, no more protecting me with lies. Done. And I want time. I'm not going to fall back into your bed and pretend this doesn't change everything. Because it does. I know. Dante lifted her hand to his lips, his eyes never leaving hers. Take all the time you need. I'll wait. Because the alternative, losing you forever, is not something I'm willing to accept. You might not have a choice. Then I'll spend however long it takes convincing you that I love you. Really love you, Sophia. Not as an asset or a mark or a pawn in some larger game. Just as you, the woman who asked me to dance when she was desperate, who stood up to my family, who chose to see me as a man instead of a monster. Sophia pulled her hand away, her heart aching. I did see you that way. I don't know what I see now. She got out of the car and walked toward the house, leaving Dante sitting in the back seat, his expression devastated. Cecilia met her at the door, taking one look at Sophia's face and pulling her into the warmth of the kitchen. She didn't ask questions, just made tea and sat beside her, offering silent comfort. Outside, through the window, Sophia could see Dante talking with Luca. Even from here, she could see the tension in his shoulders, the way he ran his hand through his hair, a gesture she'd learned meant he was struggling for control. Was he really devastated at the thought of losing her? Or was this just another performance? How could she ever know for sure? Her phone buzzed. Rosa, are you okay? I heard something happened. Sophia stared at the message. Her sister, who wanted her to inform on Dante. Her family, who deserved the truth about Marcus. The wire still sat in her purse, unused. She could destroy Dante now. Give Rosa everything, testify against him, watch his empire crumble. Or she could believe him. Trust that somewhere in his web of lies, the truth of his feelings had emerged. Either choice would cost her something irreplaceable. Sophia closed her eyes, Cecilia's hand warm on her shoulder, and wondered if love could survive when it was born from betrayal. And if it could, whether that made it stronger or simply more broken from the start. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 5. The decision sat in Sophia's chest like a stone for 3 days. She stayed at the compound, in a guest room that felt both like sanctuary and prison. Dante kept his distance, though she caught glimpses of him, talking with his men, working in his study, standing at the windows late at night when he thought everyone was asleep. He looked hollowed out, like something vital had been carved away. Cecilia brought her meals and gentle conversation. Maria visited with her children, filling the room with laughter that felt surreal. The family treated her like she belonged, like she was already one of them. But Sophia couldn't stop thinking about Rosa's exhausted face. Her parents' stolen savings. The wire still hidden in her purse, a physical reminder of the choice she hadn't made. On the third night, she found herself in Dante's study. He looked up from his desk, surprise flickering across his features. Sophia. We need to talk. Really talk. She closed the door behind her. I need you to tell me everything. About Marcus, about Hartwell, about what you're planning. No strategy, no manipulation. Just the truth. Dante studied her for a long moment, then gestured to the chair across from him. Sit. He poured them both scotch and began to talk. He told her about Councilman Hartwell's corruption, how the politician had been working with the Vitali family to push legislation that would cripple Dante's legitimate businesses while protecting theirs. How Marcus had been Hartwell's accountant, moving dirty money through shell corporations and charity funds. I needed a way to access Marcus without making it obvious I was investigating him, Dante said. When my people discovered his gambling debts and his relationship with you, I became the perfect tool. Yes. No apology in his voice. I waited for the right moment. When I learned he'd be at the gala with your former friend, I knew you'd be vulnerable. Angry. Looking for a way to hurt him back. So you gave me exactly what I needed. I gave you what we both needed. You got revenge. I got access to Marcus's records. Dante's jaw tightened. What I didn't plan for was caring about you. Wanting to protect you. Lying awake at night thinking about your smile instead of my strategy. Sophia sipped her scotch, letting the burn ground her. And now? What happens to Marcus and Hartwell? Tomorrow night, there's a meeting. Hartwell thinks he's negotiating a deal with me, protection money in exchange for favorable votes. He's bringing Marcus as his accountant. Dante's smile was cold. What he doesn't know is that I'm going to record the entire conversation and send it to every news outlet in the city. By Friday, Hartwell will be finished, and Marcus will go down with him. Public exposure instead of private justice. You wanted Marcus to pay through legitimate channels. This is as legitimate as I can make it. He leaned forward. But Sophia, once this happens, there's no going back. You'll be connected to me publicly. Your sister will know you chose me over her investigation. Your family will know you're with a man like me. I know. And? Sophia set down her glass. I want to be there. At the meeting. I want to see Marcus's face when he realizes he's lost. Dante's eyes darkened with something that might have been pride. It could be dangerous. Everything about you is dangerous. She held his gaze. I'm done pretending otherwise. But Sophia hadn't told him everything. That night, alone in her room, she called Rosa. Thank God, her sister breathed. I've been worried sick. Are you okay? I'm fine. Rosa, I need to tell you something. Sophia's heart hammered. There's a meeting tomorrow night. Dante's taking down Councilman Hartwell. He'll have recordings, evidence, everything you'd need to build a criminal case. Silence on the other end. Then, you're feeding me information. I'm giving you justice. Isn't that what you wanted? Sophia's voice shook. Hartwell goes down. Marcus goes down. You get your case. Everyone wins. Except Dante walks away clean. He's giving you 2 criminals on a silver platter. That should be enough. Rosa was quiet for a long moment. Where's the meeting? Sophia gave her the location, a restaurant in Midtown that Dante owned. Rosa, you have to promise me something. Whatever happens, don't try to arrest Dante tomorrow. Just take Hartwell and Marcus. Please. I can't promise that. Then I can't help you. Sophia's throat tightened. I'm trying to give you what you want while protecting the man I love. Meet me halfway. Love. Rosa's voice turned sad. Oh, Sophia. You really believe that's what this is? I don't know what else to call it. Tears burned in Sophia's eyes. But I'm choosing him, Rosa. I need you to accept that. I can't. But I'll take the information. Rosa paused. Be careful tomorrow. Men like Dante, when they're cornered, they're most dangerous. After they hung up, Sophia sat in the darkness and wondered if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life. The restaurant was closed to the public, lights dimmed, tables empty except for one in the center. Dante sat with his back to the wall, Sophia beside him, Luca and 3 other men positioned strategically around the room. Sophia wore black, a dress that made her feel armored. Dante had tried one last time to convince her to stay at the compound, but she'd refused. If she was really choosing this life, she needed to see it clearly. Councilman Hartwell arrived exactly on time, Marcus trailing behind him like a shadow. Sophia's ex-fiancé looked terrible, thinner, dark circles under his eyes, his expensive suit hanging loose. When he saw Sophia, he went pale. What is she doing here? Marcus asked Hartwell. Miss Castellano is my guest, Dante said smoothly. Please, sit. Hartwell was in his 60s, silver-haired and politician handsome, with the kind of smile that probably won elections. But his eyes were calculating as he took the seat across from Dante. Mr. Moretti. I appreciate you agreeing to meet. How could I refuse? When a city councilman wants to discuss mutual interests, I pay attention. Dante's voice was pleasant, but Sophia felt the tension radiating from him. Marcus, you look unwell. The stress of creative accounting wearing on you? Marcus wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. Can we just get this over with? Of course. Hartwell leaned back, projecting confidence. I'll be direct. Your businesses have been facing increased scrutiny lately, health inspections, licensing issues, zoning complications. I can make those problems disappear. In exchange, I need your organization to provide security for certain shipments coming through the port. Shipments of what? Does it matter? I'm offering you protection. Peace. A chance to operate without constant interference. Hartwell's smile widened. All for a reasonable monthly fee and occasional logistical support. Dante appeared to consider this. Sophia knew he was recording everything, the cameras hidden in the light fixtures, the microphone in his watch. But Hartwell kept talking, digging his grave deeper. Marcus has been invaluable in structuring these arrangements. He understands how to move money without attracting attention. How to make payments look legitimate. Hartwell gestured to Marcus. Show him the accounts. Marcus pulled out a tablet with shaking hands, displaying spreadsheets that detailed years of corruption, bribes disguised as consulting fees, campaign donations from shell corporations, money laundered through charity funds. Including, Sophia realized with cold fury, the money stolen from her family's restaurant. This is impressive, Dante said. But I'm curious, Councilman. What makes you think I need your protection? Everyone needs protection, Mr. Moretti. Even powerful men like you. Hartwell's voice turned harder. Especially when the Vitali family is actively working to destroy you. They've offered me twice what you can pay to make your life difficult. I'm giving you a chance to match their offer. How generous. Dante's smile was sharp. Tell me, does Antonio Vitali know you're playing both sides? Hartwell's expression flickered. I don't know what. The restaurant's front door burst open. Rosa strode in, badge held high, 6 federal agents behind her. Nobody move. Federal agents. Everything happened at once. Luca pulled his gun, but not pointing it at the agents, pointing it at Dante. Sorry, boss, Luca said, his voice cold. But this has been a long time coming. Sophia's blood turned to ice. The informant. It was Luca. Dante didn't move, but his hand found Sophia's under the table, squeezing once, a warning or a goodbye, she couldn't tell. Luca. Dante's voice was deadly calm. What are you doing? What I should have done when your father died. Taking over. Luca gestured with his gun. You've gone soft, Dante. Making deals with politicians, falling for pretty girls, showing mercy when you should show strength. The family needs real leadership. You made a deal with the feds, Dante said. I made a deal with the prosecutor. Luca nodded toward Rosa. I give her you, Hartwell, and the Vitales. In exchange, I get immunity and the organization. Rosa stepped forward, her face pale but determined. Dante Moretti, you're under arrest for. Wait. Marcus stood abruptly, his voice shaking. There's something you all should know. Everyone turned to him. Marcus pulled out his phone with trembling hands. I've been recording this entire conversation. Including Luca's confession just now. His laugh was slightly hysterical. And I've already sent it to 3 different news outlets, along with every file on this tablet. By tomorrow morning, everyone in this room will be famous. Sophia stared at her ex-fiancé in shock. Marcus, what are you? I'm done being a pawn. Marcus looked at Hartwell. You used me. Made me steal from innocent people, threatened my family if I didn't cooperate. He turned to Dante. You used me to get to him. Then to Sophia, his eyes filling with tears. And I used you worst of all. I'm sorry, Sophia. For everything. You idiot, Hartwell snarled, lunging for Marcus. Chaos erupted. Hartwell grabbed Marcus, using him as a shield. Luca swung his gun between Dante and the federal agents. Rosa shouted orders, her agents drawing weapons. Dante's other men moved to protect him, but Luca had positioned himself perfectly, he had the angle on everyone. And Sophia saw it all with terrible clarity. Luca was going to shoot. Not the agents, not Hartwell. He was going to shoot Dante and claim it was self-defense in the confusion. She didn't think. She moved. Sophia threw herself at Luca just as his finger tightened on the trigger. The gun went off, deafening in the enclosed space. She felt something slam into her shoulder, not pain, not yet, just impact, and then she was falling. More gunshots. Shouting. Strong arms catching her before she hit the ground. Sophia. Dante's face above hers, his eyes wild with fear. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm okay, she tried to say, but her voice wouldn't work properly. She heard Rosa screaming, saw federal agents tackle Luca. Saw Hartwell on the ground, Marcus standing over him with the politician's own gun. Saw Dante's men secure the room with practiced efficiency. And then the pain hit, stealing her breath. Ambulance is coming, Dante said, his hands pressing against her shoulder, his voice cracking. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Did I save you? The words came out slurred. You saved me. His face was wet, tears, she realized with distant surprise. Dante was crying. You beautiful, stupid, brave woman. You saved me. Good. Sophia's eyes felt heavy. Because I chose you. Want you to know that. I chose. Darkness pulled at her, gentle and insistent. The last thing she heard was Dante's voice, rough with emotion. I love you. Do you hear me? I love you, Sophia. She wanted to say it back, but the darkness was faster. Sophia woke in a hospital room flooded with afternoon light. Rosa sat in the chair beside her bed, looking exhausted and furious and relieved all at once. You're awake. Finally. How long? Sophia's voice came out as a croak. 2 days. The bullet went through your shoulder, missed everything vital. You'll be fine. Rosa's jaw clenched. You threw yourself in front of a gun, Sophia. For him. Where is he? Dante? In custody. Along with Hartwell, Marcus, and Luca. Rosa leaned forward. It's over. The recordings went public. Marcus really did send them to every news outlet. Hartwell's finished. His crimes are all over the news. Marcus is cooperating fully in exchange for a reduced sentence. And Luca's facing charges for conspiracy and attempted murder. And Dante? Rosa was quiet for a long moment. The evidence against him is complicated. He was recording Hartwell, clearly trying to expose corruption. His hands are technically clean in all of this. My boss thinks we can make charges stick, but... She shook her head. He'll probably walk, Sophia. His lawyers are too good, and public opinion is on his side. He exposed a corrupt politician. Relief flooded through Sophia. Good. Good. He's a criminal, Sophia. He manipulated you, used you. He also loves me. And I love him. Sophia met her sister's eyes. I know you don't understand. I know you think I've lost myself. But Rosa, I chose him. Knowing everything, I chose him. Then you chose wrong. Rosa stood, her face hard. I can't watch you destroy yourself. I can't enable this. So I'm done, Sophia. I'm done trying to save you from him. When this all falls apart, and it will, don't come to me to pick up the pieces. Rosa. I love you. I'll always love you. But I can't be part of this. Rosa walked to the door, then paused. For what it's worth. You saved my life too. That bullet Luca fired, it would have hit me if you hadn't moved. So thank you. Even if I hate why you did it. She left, and Sophia was alone with the sound of hospital machines and her own heartbeat. The door opened again an hour later. Dante stood there, still wearing the clothes from the restaurant, now stained with her blood. He looked wrecked, unshaven, exhausted, eyes haunted. They let you out? Sophia asked. Bail. And very expensive lawyers. He crossed to her bed slowly, like he was approaching something fragile. How are you? Alive. Thanks to morphine. She tried to smile. You look terrible. I thought I lost you. He sank into the chair Rosa had vacated, taking her hand with devastating gentleness. When you jumped in front of that gun, when I saw you fall, his voice broke. I've faced death 100 times, Sophia. It never scared me. But watching you bleed, thinking you might die because of me, that terrified me. I couldn't let him shoot you. Why? The question was raw. After everything I did, every lie I told, why would you save me? Sophia squeezed his hand. Because somewhere between the manipulation and the truth, I fell in love with you. The real you, not the man at the gala, not the mob boss, but the man who cries when I'm hurt. Who looks at me like I'm precious. Who offered to let me walk away even though it would destroy him. Dante lifted her hand to his lips. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you have me anyway. She paused. Rosa's done with me. My family will be when they find out about us. I'm choosing you, Dante, but I'm losing everything else. Then let me give you something in return. He pulled a small box from his pocket, opening it to reveal a ring, not a diamond, but a deep blue sapphire surrounded by smaller stones. Marry me. Not as strategy, not as manipulation. Marry me because I love you and I want the world to know you're mine and I'm yours. Sophia stared at the ring, her heart hammering. That's insane. We barely know each other. I know you took a bullet for me. I know you chose me over your family. I know you see the monster and love me anyway. His dark eyes held hers. That's enough for me. Is it enough for you? It was crazy. Reckless. Wrong by every conventional measure. Sophia held out her hand. Yes. Dante slid the ring onto her finger, then kissed her, gentle because of her injuries, but fierce with promise. When he pulled back, he rested his forehead against hers. I'm giving you one more chance to walk away, he whispered. After you heal, after the chaos dies down. I'll give you money, protection, a fresh start anywhere you want. You can leave this life, leave me, find someone safe. Someone who'll give you the life you deserve. And if I don't want safe? Then I'm yours. For better or worse. In darkness and light. Until the day I die. He pulled back to look at her. But Sophia, understand what you're choosing. My world is violent. Dangerous. There will be more nights like this, more threats, more chaos. I can protect you, but I can't give you normal. I don't want normal. Sophia touched his face, feeling the rough stubble under her palm. I want you. I want this. Even knowing what it costs. Then you have me. His smile was beautiful and broken. God help us both. 6 months later, another gala. Different city, different venue, but the same glittering crowd of New York's elite. Sophia wore crimson silk, Dante's ring catching the light on her finger. They'd been married quietly a month ago, just family and close friends. The media had gone insane, the event planner who tamed the notorious Dante Moretti. Romance novels had nothing on their story. Except the novels left out the complicated parts. The way her parents had stopped returning her calls. How Rosa sent birthday cards but nothing more. The night Sophia woke from nightmares about gunfire. The reality of being married to a man who operated in shadows. But there were other parts too. The way Dante looked at her each morning like he couldn't believe she was real. How his family had embraced her completely. The foundation they'd started together, legitimately helping families affected by gambling addiction. Small redemptions in a complicated life. Ready to dance? Dante asked, offering his hand. Sophia took it, letting him lead her onto the floor. The orchestra played something slow and romantic. Around them, people watched, some with admiration, some with judgment, all of them wondering about the woman who'd chosen the devil and called it love. Do you regret it? Dante asked quietly as they swayed together. Any of it? Sophia thought about her old life, safe, predictable, built on illusions. Then she thought about this life, dangerous, complicated, but blazingly real. No, she said honestly. I regret what it cost. But I don't regret choosing you. Even knowing what I am. Especially knowing what you are. She pulled back to look at him. I didn't fall in love with a fantasy, Dante. I fell in love with the truth, all of it, dark and light together. His smile was devastating. Then I'm the luckiest man alive. They danced on, bound together by choices that couldn't be unmade and love that shouldn't exist but did anyway. In a prison 200 miles away, Marcus Chin sat in front of a television in the common room. The news was covering the gala, a charity event for addiction recovery, hosted by Sophia and Dante Moretti. The camera found them on the dance floor, Sophia radiant in red, Dante holding her like she was made of light. They looked happy. In love. Complete. Marcus had cooperated fully with investigators, his sentence reduced to 5 years for his testimony. Hartwell was serving 20. Luca had disappeared into witness protection after his cooperation brought down the last of the Vitali family's operations. Everyone had paid for their sins. Some more than others. That could have been you, his cellmate said, nodding at the screen. With the pretty girl. No. Marcus watched Sophia laugh at something Dante whispered in her ear. She was never really mine. I was just keeping her warm for him. The thought should have made him angry. Instead, he felt oddly peaceful. He'd spent his life taking shortcuts, making selfish choices, hurting people for personal gain. His punishment was watching the woman he'd betrayed find happiness with a better man. Even if that man was a criminal. The screen changed to an interview, a reporter asking Sophia about her marriage to Dante Moretti, about the rumors, the controversies. People love to create narratives, Sophia said, her smile mysterious. They want to believe I'm either a victim he's manipulated or a criminal he's corrupted. But the truth is simpler and more complicated than that. I'm a woman who chose a man, knowing exactly who he is. Whatever comes from that choice, good or bad, is mine to own. Do you have any regrets? The reporter pressed. Sophia's hand found Dante's off camera. I regret the people I've hurt. I regret the relationships I've lost. But the choice itself? The man I married? She looked directly at the camera, and Marcus felt like she was looking through the screen at him. No regrets. Not one. The interview ended. The news moved on to other stories. Marcus turned away from the television, back to his cell, carrying the weight of his choices like chains. The gala ended near midnight. Dante and Sophia rode home in comfortable silence, her head on his shoulder, his hand stroking through her hair. Happy? He asked. Complicated happy. But yes. She kissed his jaw. You? More than I deserve. He pulled her closer. I won't ask if you have doubts. I know you do. This life isn't what I imagined. But it's what I chose. Sophia sat up to look at him. Some days I wonder if I've lost myself in your darkness. Other days I think maybe I found myself in it. Either way, I'm here. I'm yours. And I'm not leaving. Even when it's hard. Especially then. She touched his face. You gave me a choice, Dante. Every step of the way, you gave me a choice. I could have walked away. I still could. But I don't want to. Why? It was a question he'd asked 100 times, like he still couldn't quite believe her answer. Sophia smiled. Because you dance with me like I'm the only woman in the world. Because you love me with everything you are, the good and the bad. Because when I'm with you, I feel powerful and chosen and alive. She kissed him softly. And because love isn't always light, Dante. Sometimes it's finding someone who matches your darkness and calling it home. His kiss was deep and claiming, full of promise and possession and desperate gratitude. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante rested his forehead against hers. Then let's go home, Mrs. Moretti. Home. Sophia tested the word, tasting its weight. Yes. Let's go home. The car carried them through the city, past glittering lights and dark alleys, through a world that was never simply good or evil but always complicated, always shifting, always demanding choices. And Sophia had made hers. She'd danced with the devil and called it love. She'd chosen darkness and found light. She'd lost everything safe and gained something dangerous and real and entirely hers. Whether that made her saved or damned, redeemed or corrupted, she didn't know. Maybe she never would. But as Dante's arms tightened around her and the city sparkled beyond the window, Sophia realized she didn't need to know. Some questions didn't have answers. Some choices were too complicated for judgment. Some love stories didn't end with happily ever after but with, I choose you anyway. And that, somehow, was enough. The end. Thank you for watching this video. subscribe, like and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily and also, to appreciate this community too. I would like to hear your wonderful opinion about this story. Please comment below.